Hello my friends, and welcome to today's video, episode 2 of my new series of gift giving. Today's gift giving idea is a stationery set. I have written permission from the designer of this template for these cards to use it on my videos as well as submit it for publication. Her name is Ruth Ann Marcotte, and she is of Mirkwood Designs. She is an artist and paper crafter, and her templates are free. I do recommend that if you're going to use this particular template, which I will link in the description box as well as on my blog, that you cut it out of pretty sturdy cardstock and that you also laminate it. I do have one that's laminated, but right now I have no idea where it is. So I printed this off and I cut it out. So now I'm going to use the template on a piece of cardstock that is folded in half at the 5.5 inch side. I'm going to line this up at the top and the bottom and just follow the lines to cut this out. Makes this particular template so nice. It's got really easy to follow and understand directions. You can also use your paper trimmer to do this, all except for the curve. Of course, you'll need a pair of scissors for that. Now then, we're going to score this little guy, big guy, whatever. And basically it tells us that the score lines are 3/4 of an inch pretty much all around. It makes it easy. Line this up. You'll line it back up to that 3/4 of an inch since I'm going through so much cardstock. And I'm going to score it again. I am pushing fairly hard in this process, and we're going to continue to do that until we have all of the score lines done. I will probably fast forward you through this part. This is the only score that is not going to be 3/4 of an inch. It's right here. Let's see if we can get in frame. There we go. And we're going to score it along the tab that we just created when we cut this out. And it's approximately 1 3/4 inches. This is the pocket that the cards are going to be fitting into. Okay, that's done. So the basic folio is cut out and scored. Now we're going to reinforce all those score lines. Down very well. You could use either tape or glue on these tabs, and I'm going to be using some permanent tack adhesive. This is from Glue Glider Pro, and the instructions do show you exactly where to score and glue these tabs. So that is basically the portfolio. It will hold up to 4 cards and envelopes if they're not real thick. Make a couple quick notes of measurements so that when I get ready to layer this up, I'll know what I'm working with. Pieces that are going to go inside of this cover can actually be anywhere from 1/2 to 1/4 to 1/2 inch shorter than the one on the outside. And I am going to cut that measurement 2 more times for the inside of this box. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and layer the one for the front cover in the same manner. So far, so good. Alright, my friends, I am going to make one of the cards for my portfolio. I went ahead and stamped and colored this flower. This is called Doodly Doo from Paper Tray Ink. Then I cut a layering piece of gray cardstock, and I'm going to emboss my sentiment, which is about friends. Prep the surface with some anti-static. Stamp the sentiment. I'm going to be using Gina K's Premium Pigment Ink. This is white. This piece of peach cardstock measures 1 inch by 4 1/4. Alright my friends, I had a bunch of interruptions, so we're going to have to start a couple of things over again. It's okay. It's all under control. Alright my friends, this is the card. It is finished. I am not going to add any bling or pop dots or anything to this just because I want it flat for mailing purposes. But that is the front of the folio, and we will be continuing. And we have made the folio. So that's the folio. Now the cards that are going to go inside it, you can do anything with these. You could certainly do all thank you cards, all get well cards, a mixture of cards, whatever you want. I still have the papers on my desk, and so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this stamped image and put it as a diamond pattern onto my cardstock. Okay, I'm liking this a lot. I'll be trimming off these edges here shortly. Now to decide how I want this big circle oriented. I had purchased this thank you sticker set from Hobby Lobby for a different project, and I was just thinking it might be really nice just to put this on the front of my card. If I weren't on camera, I wouldn't have had such a hard time getting the sticker up. I'm just going to kind of eyeball that per center, push it down, and down very well. Turn it over and clip off the excess cardstock from the back. I'm going to use this retired stamp. It is from Stampin' Up! And ink it up with some Versamark ink. Eyeball it and just put it down, hold it in place for a minute while I grab my black embossing powder. I'm going to go ahead and just ground these images a little bit more, really roughly. I'm going to bring this down. This is just a plain acrylic block. I'm going to use it to like a palette, just take some of my inks here and scribble them on. And just let the graphics of the image dictate what's going to happen with it. In between colors, I'm just taking my brush and just scrubbing it off onto my scratch paper. This will also give it a nice shine. Heat this up again just to dry it. This time I want the orientation obviously to be this way, and this foam polka dot paper is going to be my second layer down here. I'm going to trim this down a little bit so it'll fit. It only needs like maybe 1/8 off of either side. I'm going to take a little bit more off of this end over here. I'm going to go and test this because I'm not going to use a stamp positioner. I want to get it nice and black, and sometimes it takes a few inkings. I don't think this stamp has ever seen ink before. Get this where I want it, eyeball it. I kind of just think I'm going to put it somewhere in the center. Put it down and hold it there for just a few seconds. Alright my friends, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on and finish up the rest of the cards for this folio. Stamp happy and be a blessing.